Stephen Fennick from Tech Guide here, and today we're talking about the Samsung GalaxyZ Flip. Yes, this is a phone. It's a folding smartphone. It's not Samsung's first folding phone either. Do you remember last year's Galaxy Fold? So not Samsung's first rodeo. This is a different type of device though, as you'll see. It's not really designed for the same user as the Galaxy Fold. This is an entirely different type of customer. On the design side, Samsung's done a pretty good job because this is an entirely different approach to the Galaxy Fold. The Galaxy Fold was meant to be two devices in one, a phone that folds out like a book to a tablet. This is just to give you a convenient form factor, so you're not lugging around a big device. It opens up and reveals a 6.7-inch screen, but then when folded down, it's actually quite compact, can really fit easily in your pocket. So great work by Samsung there to be able to give someone a larger screen device that folds down into such a compact size. Again, the secret sauce is in the hinge. They've taken a lot of the learnings from the Galaxy Fold and they've placed it into this device as well. They did learn a lot from that first Galaxy Fold, especially when there was problems with the initial device. So they've come a long way since then. This hinge gives you the ability to open and close the device hundreds of thousands of times. Now, one thing you'll notice is that the hinge, it doesn't quite close flat. You can just see there's a slight gap in there. I think that's a smart play by Samsung. Just reduces the tension on that hinge. You don't want that to be a problem for your device. One other thing you'll notice too is there's a really small display on the front of the phone as well. It's there to give you notifications, to tell you when a call's coming in. You can even actually frame yourself up in a selfie in that tiny little screen. Personally, I would have liked that screen to be a little bigger to make it a bit more useful, maybe to read messages completely, see notifications in full, but Samsung decided to go with a smaller window on the front, but they've still provided a 6.7-inch device, a screen inside that allows you to do everything you would on a normal smartphone. Performance-wise, this isn't going to be the fastest and sleekest Samsung device. The specs on board the GalaxyZ Flip are behind even the Galaxy S10 from last year, but it is still good enough for you to use in terms of speed and performance and everything that you expect from a smartphone. This delivers. It just doesn't deliver those flagship features in terms of performance, processor speed. The camera's not quite as good as those flagship devices either. What you're getting here is a little bit of a fashion statement. It's all about the design. It's all about the slick nature in which you can flip it open and flip it closed again. That's going to be the attraction for customers. I don't think that a person who's going to buy the GalaxyZ Flip is attracted to that high-end performance and the best camera and all of those best features. It's all about the look and feel of the device that people are going to be interested in. But let's talk about the camera. That's a very popular feature of any smartphone. The GalaxyZ Flip is no exception. It does have a dual camera system, and like every other recent smartphone, actually takes very good quality pictures, takes also very good quality videos. But the thing people are going to really like about this device is its ability to take really good selfies. And the reason it can do that is because the hinge can be opened up at various different angles. So it's not stuck at one position. It's not just either open or closed. You can angle the screen at any angle there. So that comes in handy when you want to take selfies, because you can actually rest this on a surface, line up your photo. All you need to do actually to activate your selfie, line yourself up in the image so you can see yourself really clearly, hold up your hand, and it'll sense, okay, you want to take a selfie, it'll give you a 3, 2, 1, and boom, captures your selfie. Picture quality is actually above average. As you can see from some examples that we're talking about right now, it does take a great shot, whether it's a close-up, whether it's a landscape, and also, of course, your selfies. The ability to have the phone open at this angle as well, apart from it being great for your selfies, it's also great for viewing content. So you can rest this anywhere on a surface and watch whatever you need to watch on the top half of the screen. It's also handy if you're doing video calling. A lot of us are doing that now, and this is handy as well because, again, you can rest it on a surface and be able to make your call without having to find any other stand or any other way to support the phone. So what is it like using a folding phone instead of a regular phone? It does take a little bit of getting used to. For one, if you need to look at the screen, it's not just a matter of unlocking the device. You've actually got to unfold it. And the mechanism to unfold it isn't very easy to do with one hand. I found that if I was, say, carrying a coffee, for example, and the phone was closed, I'd have to put my coffee down and open up the phone with two hands. Closing it, no problem with one hand, but opening it up again, it does take some effort. I'm trying to do it right now, but it really is a two-handed operation. So that's number one. If you want to look at your screen immediately, you need to have two hands free to do it. And of course, when the screen is opened up, you'll notice that the screen is actually quite tall. It's a very long and narrow screen. It's got I think the 21.9 by 9 aspect ratio. So it's quite thin, quite long, really easy to hold in your hand as well once it is opened. But that was something that I had to get used to. The front display was handy when I did notice I had a call coming in, or I had an application maybe running in the background. I was maybe listening to an audio book. I could press pause. Little things like that, it was okay. But as I said, that little screen is too small. It would have been better if it was larger front screen, a more useful front screen, so that I could do a lot more on the device without having to open it up. Now let's talk about this screen. Now this is an ultra thin layer of glass that is able to bend and fold. So it's a remarkable bit of engineering there. And the screen itself is quite glossy, quite shiny, and feels like a regular touch screen. You can feel the hinge in the middle when you're using different apps, and if you rub your finger along the hinge there, you can easily feel it. You can also easily see it depending on what's on your screen. If you hold it up in the right light, you are going to see that little crease in the middle. So it isn't completely flat, even though the device itself, when it is folded open, is actually quite thin. And what I did, I actually left the screen open when it was just sitting on my desk in my car. I left it open like this rather than having it folded all the time. It just made it more convenient when I wanted to use it straight away, so that the screen was ready to go. So I didn't have to worry about opening it up. So I'm a fan of the screen. I think it looks quite glossy, a little bit more glass-like than previous folding phones, including the Galaxy Fold. The Galaxy Fold had more of like a polymer, plasticky look, whereas this is a lot glossier, a lot shinier, and looks like a real glass display. Now let's talk about the GalaxyZ Flip battery. And I've got to say, I was really impressed. It lasted a day and a half, nearly 2 days in some cases. I've been using this for over a week as my daily driver. So I've got my SIM card in it. I'm getting all my messages. I'm doing all my social media, you name it. Everything was going through the device and easily lasted a day and a half. So battery, not an issue. Now, who is the GalaxyZ Flip customer? Is it your Samsung fanboy or girl? Is it your regular Samsung user? Is it any other regular user? What I'm thinking, this isn't going to attract your flagship high performance, high end user. The high end user wants performance, wants to be able to do things really quickly, wants that speed, and wants everything at their fingertips right away. I think this is going to attract a customer who's more into design, maybe is a bit more fashion conscious, someone who just wants to be that early adopter who wants to impress their friends with a device like this that folds. So it's not for everyone. It's going to be priced at $2,199 here in Australia. So it's also not something that everyone can afford. I think the typical customer would be your millennial, maybe probably a female. There are different colors. There's pink and purple, and this is the black, of course. So plenty of choices for whether you're a male or a female user. But I think this is going to be more someone who is a bit more fashion conscious rather than someone looking at a device that's going to be their workhorse that they depend on every day. So there it is, our Samsung GalaxyZ Flip review. Check out techguide.com.au for our full review as well on our website. But overall, I think I'm really impressed with this device. I really enjoyed using it. It was a fun phone to use. So being able to open up and then fold it down into a really small size, that was really handy as well. Fits really easily in my back pocket where I normally carry my phone. I'd often be leaving this on my desk and would walk off and forget to take it because it was so small. I'm not used to picking up my phone when it's a large shape on my desk, but because this was so small, I would often leave it behind. So yes, it's good if you like a device that has a big screen that folds down small. It easily fits into your pocket, into your bag. So it does have that plus as well. If you're a user who demands a bit more power, you're more of a photographer, you want that sort of the A-level camera that's on the flagship devices as well, then this camera, while it's really good, is not going to match the quality of the top of the line Samsungs, the iPhone 11 Pro, all of those other devices that have up to 50 times, 100 times zoom. But overall, as I said, a fun phone to use. My only real downside is probably the price. It's a bit expensive. The other thing is that small screen. It's not very useful. Most of the time it would have been better if there was a larger screen on the front. But they're not deal breakers for me. I think this is a really capable phone, and I think a fun device to use, something that's going to really impress your friends when you pull it out of your pocket.